Over 4 long months have passed since we last had soccer in Music City. That wait ends right now. Year 2 of professional soccer in Nashville takes flight tonight. It's New York City FC and Nashville SC in a stormy Friday night friendly. It is game night for the Nashville Soccer Club, and for the first time this year, welcome to First Tennessee Park. Tonight, underneath the Friday night lights and the sheets of chilling rain, our first glimpse at the upgraded Nashville SC, and joining them in the downpour, the mighty New York City FC of Major League Soccer. There will be MLS battles in the future, but tonight, a simple friendly. Glad to have you with us up at our broadcast booth. I'm John Freeman, joined by former Vanderbilt soccer coach Ronnie Woodard. And well, there are major announcements for Nashville this week. There were major signings during the offseason. It's our first look at the club on the pitch for this year. What do we expect tonight, partner?
Well, I think we're going to see far more attack. They had some great offseason signings with Lancaster, Belmar, Rios. They're dynamic, they're explosive, they're exciting, and I think they're going to be that final part of the execution that the Nashville Soccer Club fans are looking for.
Looking forward to it. We'll have the call up here, down on the pitch. A person we don't envy too much right now in the rain. It's our Paris Lawson.
Guys, I spoke with head coach Gary Smith before the game, and he said it's great to be back at home even despite the weather. But one thing he was very pleased with was his team's overall physical condition. He said the majority of his players came in great condition, which is good to see, especially since preseason is a great indicator to see what guys have been doing in the offseason. And Coach Smith pretty pleased with his team's physical condition so far, as well as their chemistry. He says the new guys have been fitting in very well so far. So we'll be on the lookout to see if we can get a glimpse of some of that chemistry here tonight, guys.
Thank you very much, Paris. We are nearly ready for kickoff in Germantown. The first home match of the year, the first meeting between Nashville SC and NYCFC, and potentially the first home starts for some of Nashville's biggest offseason signings. Our lineups and opening kick, they're coming up next from First Tennessee Park. Soaked First Tennessee Park, ready to roll for the first time this year. Let's take a look at our lineup. 6 major signings during the offseason for Nashville. Just where will they all fit? Well, new acquisitions Ken Tribbett, Carlton Belmar, and Cameron Lancaster find themselves in the starting 11 for Gary Smith's squad.
Can they and will they? There is no doubt that they're all equally talented, and I think they're going to make an amazing impact on this program this year.
Looking forward to seeing how Lancaster and Belmar fit into Nashville's 11. Nashville does have Daniel Rios, the other superstar striker that they signed during the offseason, available tonight on the bench. Nashville led by Gary Smith in his second season in charge, turned 50 years old during the offseason. We asked him about the goals for tonight, and he said just about getting competitive minutes for key players and then seeing consistent improvement in what is now week 5 of the preseason. Turning our attention to the visitors from New York, the club's all-time leading scorer, David Villa, has departed for the Japanese top division. So the question is, where do the goals come from? Main candidate, Romanian striker Alex Matrița, who they signed for a rumored $9 million this month.
Well, it's the American debut for the long-awaited arrival of Matrița. He's creative, he's opportunistic, and my guess is he's going to be worth every dime to New York.
Well, here we go as Dome Tarrant and his NYCFC team. They played on Wednesday night in Orlando, and Coach Tarrant bringing them here for a Friday night friendly before they launch their MLS campaign next Saturday. Well, two title-hungry clubs with substantial expectations and aspirations. They meet on the pitch for the first time. There will be future battles there guaranteed in the coming years. But first, this rain-soaked skirmish at First Tennessee Park. Music City's maiden kick of 2019 complete. Soccer officially back in Nashville. It is Nashville, the boys in gold tonight, and NYCFC in the light blues. Take a look at our Vanderbilt injury report. Exactly what you would hope to see if you're Gary Smith, the manager. So the players came in fit. They have proved it with no injuries so far in the preseason.
Well, actually exactly what you hope to see after your preseason exhibition game today.
Here's Kosuke Kimura for Nashville. First touch for Alan Wynn. Now Liam Doyle, a player who led Nashville SC in minutes last year. Flag is up as the pursuing Carlton Belmar a step ahead.
Well, I think that was a really nice move by Doyle early. Let's test that back line. Let's put that ball in. Let's see if we can get Belmar in behind that New York defense and just see how they're going to play with that. It's a good look early in the game. Kind of test the back line, see how they're feeling it out, and put it right down at their defensive end.
High pressure from Nashville. NYCFC, a very technical team, very good with their feet, can pass out of tight places. They play their regular season games in Major League Soccer in Yankee Stadium, so they're used to small baseball size fields like you'll see here at First Tennessee Park. They have the narrowest pitch in Major League Soccer.
Well, and if you watched any of their games from last year, you could see that they're very indirect. And that would play into the size of the field and actually the size of their players. Their overall size of their midfield and their front line is small on average, comparatively speaking. They're tinier, they're dynamic, they're technical, and thus that plays into a more indirect style of play.
Dome Tarrant in his first preseason with NYCFC replaced Patrick Vieira midway through the campaign last year. He's a protege of current Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola, taking stints at Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Manchester City as his assistant.
I mean, if you're going to learn from one of the best, why not be Pep, right?
Just a few lightweight clubs in there on his resume. Ken Tribbett selects LaGrassa. Going to test the wheels of Belmar. Kept that in bounds. Anton Tinnerholm, 27-year-old Swede, to progress forward for NYCFC.
Well, it's an interesting back line for NCFC, right? It's a seasoned back line. It's a consistent back line that you've seen throughout the year. Shawno, Collins, Tinnerholm, and Sweat with Johnson in the back and goal, just anchoring that defense has been very consistent and reliable for New York.
We were watching the grounds crew before the game. The part here on the near side where NYCFC is attacking, you'll see a little bit of a change in color there. That's where the baseball infield is. Grass is pristine condition. They laid tarp over it the entire day and only pulled the tarp off about an hour and a half before kickoff. So despite inches and inches of rain here in Nashville over the last several days, the field in pristine condition.
Oh, it's exceptional. It's absolutely beautiful playing surface right now. Hats off to the grounds crew with the TLC that they've done, getting this team prepped for getting this field prepped for the day. I mean, it really is in great shape, and I think it's playing pretty consistent right now.
A little bit different than the preseason opener last year. It's Atlanta United. Part soccer game, part swim meet. Neither team with a real threat on goal so far early in this one. Taylor Washington. Now Liam Doyle. Pull over the top ball, contested by LaGrassa. Headed backwards towards Sean Johnson. Former U.S. men's national team goalkeeper. Won a Gold Cup with the national team. 10 clean sheets last year for the 29-year-old.
Oh, and he is so athletic. You know, if anyone wants to watch some highlight videos, watch Johnson as a shot stopper. He's absolutely fantastic. He's composed. He's quite good with his feet, and he's very good when the ball is in front of him and he has to make that save. He can come up really big. I mean, he's got a really big stature too.
It's been Sweat who had ventured forward. Throw goes to Nashville. Sweat recollects. Ebenezer Afori. Switch for Maxie Morales. Team's prime playmaker, the 31-year-old Argentinian. 9 goals last year in MLS. Nashville trying to pass out of the back itself. They do so successfully. Launching Taylor Washington forward. As Belmar to his left. Oh, crafty touch from Carlton Belmar. Nashville played last week at Birmingham, who will be making their USL debut this season. Will play Nashville twice during the regular season. Nashville throttled them 3-0 and only allowed 1 shot in that game. Keep up to date with Nashville SC all season long and follow our journey to Major League Soccer at NashvilleSC.com. Decisive run made by LaGrassa in a foot race. Able to win the throw-in for the challenge from Alexander Ring, NYCFC's new captain.
Now, I like that unbalancing run by LaGrassa, getting in, and he drew Ring out of the midfield and caused him to have to chase him in behind that back line.
Neatly done by Nashville, but Reed had moseyed offside. In the 8th minute, we are still searching for our first shot of the game. There's Michael Reed, the only captain that Nashville SC has ever known. Club's first ever transfer acquisition when he was signed from San Antonio over last offseason. Limped to the finish of the season last year. An injury in the final regular season game, and then did not even make the 18 for Nashville's eventual playoff exit the next week against FC Cincinnati.
I do think that he's healed, and he's very fit. You know, Coach Smith talks about how well this team played in preseason, and I think that's indicative of a good leader. And Michael Reed, being the captain, had to come in and just set that tone early. That, and we would be remiss if we didn't mention that he was named to the 50 most eligible singles in Nashville. And just to be blunt, Nashville Soccer Club has a tradition. We have Coach Gary Smith on 50 Most Beautiful. Then we went to Bolu Akinyoti on 50 Most Beautiful. And now we have Michael Reed on the most eligible singles.
I can tell you subscribe to all the magazines.
It is
Still waiting on your signed copy, though.
It is very hard to be a Nashville Soccer Club player in the city of Nashville right now, as you can tell.
NYCFC all the way back to Sean Johnson. This is a visiting team that not known to produce very many positive preseason results. This is their 5th preseason game this year. They've lost 3 of their previous 4 this campaign. In fact, out of their last 13 preseason games dating back to 2017, they've only won 1 of them. Dome Tarrant not necessarily interested as much in results as he is an improvement in fitness for his players. As we said, they were in Orlando playing less than 48 hours ago. Flew into Nashville about midday yesterday, practiced at local school Lipscomb University. Practiced this morning, and now we're playing a game in the downpour before flying out tomorrow.
And I think they're a week out from their opener, so development and cohesion, and this might be a little bit of a gut check. Scheduling 2 games within 48 hours with travel in between, and then now to have the type of conditions that they're playing under today, I think he's going to learn an awful lot about some of the individual characteristics of some of his players.
For Nashville, still 2 weeks remaining in their preseason before their season opener against Loudoun United right here on this field in March. Teams still pawing away at each other.
So far, I will say it feels like a friendly. They're both feeling each other out. They're keeping possession. They're looking for tiny pockets of space, trying to keep the ball. Haven't been a lot of risks that have been taken so far.
Matriza able to turn, closed down by Akinyoti. And now Nashville a chance to break the other way. Rolls back for Matriza. Kimura on the run.
It's a lovely little lift pass in there from Kimura.
Lancaster able to turn, seeking out Belmar. All the way into the grasp of Johnson.
That's really nice defensive position by Tinnerholm. She got on the inside shoulder. He maintained his strength and took Belmar off balance, and so that it made it a routine save for Johnson. You know, it's the little things like that that separate a good quality defender. How can they use their body, and can they make sure that they keep the attacking player off balance?
Put out by Tribbett, forwarded along by LaGrassa. 12th minute, still seeking a protagonist. NYCFC into the attacking third. Slipped it through here to the inline, cut back across, and no one right at the penalty spot for the visitors. Cleared away by Kimura. NYCFC probing away again. Tinnerholm has made an invasive run. Skips off the wet turf and out for a Nashville goal kick.
Well, that's the first time thus far in this match that we've seen a defender get forward into the attack.
There's Matt Pickens, 36-year-old goalkeeper. The best save percentage in the Eastern Conference last year.
So, you know, we talk an awful lot about what the pitch does and how that affects the players, correct? But the 2 players that are affected the most on this field right now are Pickens and Johnson. Because what happens is when it gets slick, it can take an awkward bounce. You can lose your footing. You can leave a half chance by dropping a ball because of a wet surface. And there's an awful lot of pressure, and they have to pay attention to details and be very sure-handed and sure-footed in a match like this. These conditions are not helpful for goalkeepers.
Pass able to be downloaded by Tinnerholm. Reed. It's more recessed. Matt LaGrassa. Question asking back pass. No nonsense from Ken Tribbett.
So I think Nashville needs to see LaGrassa stay a little bit higher and sit in that pocket in behind Lancaster, like that, right there. So he's able to create a little bit more. Let Bolu and Reed distribute the ball, connect the dots in between the backs and the midfield, and LaGrassa's got to be that connection in between the attacking part of the field and the middle third of the field. If LaGrassa's getting the ball too deep, it's an ineffective play from our number 10.
There's Maxime Chenot. Morales down by Reed. NYCFC trying to pass out of the back as we take a look at our official tonight. Mondo Villarreal, 32-year-old rising star in the American refereeing scene. Already refereed a Gold Cup and a Copa Centenario in over 100 MLS games for Villarreal.
I'd say we're in good hands today, wouldn't you?
And when you look at kind of the Mount Rushmore of American soccer referees, there's Mark Geiger on it, who's done World Cups, but Villarreal is maybe thought of as his successor on the American refereeing scene. Spilling down to the floor was Jonathan Lewis. It'll be a free kick for NYCFC. They're first in the attacking third today. You see the latest team content on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat today. Our handle, NashvilleSC.com. As Ken Tribbett whistled for the foul. Not a lot of height in this New York team, though, on set pieces, Ronnie.
Now, I'd like to take a look at this replay if we're going to get a chance in a minute. And here it is. So you've got a little bit of a mismatch, right? You've got Lewis, who is quick and speedy. He's trying to take that isolation touch around. And then there's Tribbett, who's just a little bit bigger. He got caught up.
Free kick swung in by Matriza and met by Liam Doyle. Oh, that's driven wide. A speculative effort from the captain, Ring.
John, I don't dislike that effort. In this type of conditions, he did a great job. He kept the ball low, and he drove that ball back in. So it's a good driven ball in, easily dealt with by Doyle. And then here it comes laying out, nice pace on it. It's worth a try. It could deflect. It almost hit off of Lewis. You never know what's going to happen in these kind of conditions. Why not put it in there and make the game a little bit messy?
Now, there would have been questions about were NYCFC's players offside that were interfering with the ball that was coming in. Moot point, though. Goal kick for Nashville SC. And Matt Pickens in front of the any weather supporters for Nashville. Supporter section full again. Sometimes get the feeling they played a game on Everest, they'd somehow be gold there.
So one thing that you can see immediately from Nashville is a higher line in their pressing defensively. You can see where they're already pressing into New York's back third, and they're putting that back four under a lot of pressure. And I think that's because of the more athleticism that they've got that's joined in.
There's a collision of bodies. Foul's going to go against Kosuke Kimura of Nashville. I had arguments with the assistant referee which way this kick should be going. The player involved was Alexander Collins, the 26-year-old Peruvian.
Yeah, I don't have a comment.
It's Collins, who's has 11 appearances for the Peru national team, his third season in New York. Looking to be the paired center back with Maxime Chanot. Not much action so far for Cameron Lancaster of Nashville. And isolated up top. Barely seen any bit of possession. Taylor Washington with a pasture in front of him. Closed down by Medina. Tribbett trying to seek out the speedy Alan Wynn. Jumping in the passing lane was Kimura. He has found Alan Wynn. It's a one-on-one. Wynn takes it to the left, rolls it back across. Belmar underneath his feet. Extracted by Medina. Now New York on the run the other way. Morales pulls it backwards.
So Wynn's got the ball on the flank. That's exactly, if you're Nashville, who you want faced up 1-versus-1. But I think he had a tiny little window of opportunity. He might have been able to have a strike. The ball was played right at Belmar's foot. There's no opportunity for a good prep touch forward. The ball wasn't led in front. It was very difficult to get a good look on frame from that chance. But the good news is that was Alan Wynn facing up 1-versus-1 in that attacking third, and that's what Nashville wants.
was Gary Smith, the Nashville coach, who singled out Alan Wynn. We were talking to him earlier today about players that have really shined in this offseason.
Yeah, the coach was real impressed.
NYCFC venturing forward. It was a dampened cross, steered away by Liam Doyle. Lancaster hauled down around midfield. Lancaster, last year's Golden Boot in the USL at Lou City. Signed over the offseason, bringing in his 38 career USL goals for the former Tottenham striker. He has EPL experience. Like in January of 2012, his lone English Premier League appearance for Tottenham. Shared the field with Gareth Bale and Luka Modric that day. Some of the titans of the world game. Reed trying to slip it over the top for Belmar. Thumbs up from Belmar, who may be perhaps the most under the radar player for Nashville SC going into this season. You know, there's all this talk about Rios, there's all this talk about Lancaster, rightfully so. And then there's Carlton Belmar, who is one of the most prolific goal scorers in USL history. He's in the top 15 in that category with 40 career USL goals. And he's just 26 years old.
Oh, and he can just flat move. Have you watched a couple of times? You've seen Tribbett and Doyle already try to play and see if the back line's high for New York, and they're trying to play that ball in behind. And the amount of space and how quick that Belmar can get there is another dimension that Nashville really needed.
Nashville's high press results in a possession. We've been told that the starters for Nashville will go at least 45, potentially farther into the second half. We do expect to maybe see all the rostered players available today. Gary Smith not necessarily concerned with getting a victory out of this one. Obviously, he would like it against an MLS team. The main concern to him was, one, staying healthy, and two, getting very competitive minutes for some players that he sees being major components this season. As Sean Johnson, some crafty footwork right around the goal line, not where you really want to play around with it. And the end result is a deep Nashville throw-in.
Was it crafty or was it dangerous?
Depends on who you ask.
To me, that would have been a little nerve-wracking. Looked like kind of a missed touch, got closed down pretty quickly.
To secure your place in line for 2020 MLS tickets, become a 2019 Nashville SC season ticket member today for as low as $10 a game. Get your season tickets at NashvilleSC.com or by calling 615-457-8200. Halfway in with the opening frame. What do you see, partner?
Really, just a lot of both teams trying to fill each other out. They're both keeping possession. We haven't seen many risks. You've seen the occasional ball that's played over the top like that Nashville continues to try to expose that back line.
Belmar trying to pick out Alan Wynn. And now NYCFC trying to slip through. A player here, it's Lewis one-on-one with Pickens, and he sprays it wide.
So the ball comes in, it's a nicely played ball in. They catch Nashville too high and flat. Lewis makes that little tight diagonal run in, and he just mishits it. And he actually mishits it enough that it doesn't end up for a goal kick, but it ends up for a throw-in. Deep in the Nashville side. I think Lewis would like to have tried that ball again. I see what he was going for. He was trying to bend with the outside of his foot to the far post. He saw Pickens coming his way, and Pickens is no small man. and he's coming at you, and you've got to make a quick decision. And I think he just mishit it.
Lewis, a player who made his USA national team debut in January as a substitute in 2 games. And it's interesting, here he is making his national team debut this season, yet he's not even guaranteed or a lock to be in the starting 11 when NYCFC opens the MLS season. He's the definition of a super sub right now for New York. He's down on the floor is Lancaster of Nashville. The Londoner scouting around, you can see he's trying to find exactly who it was that clattered into it. Check the right side of your screen, and that is a body check from Maxime Chanot, Frenchman. Sets up a free kick for Nashville. Hoisted in by Michael Reed towards Liam Doyle. Tracked down by Matriza. And Matriza trying to show Belmar the glow of his afterburners, and he's hauled down on the sideline. And Armando Villarreal more involved here in the last couple of minutes.
You're watching this, and obviously Doyle was the target on the back post, and he's trying to bring that back across. But you've got Mitra, and he's just so quick.
What a switch that is. The inbox of Medina. Shipping back post towards Morales. Afori. Now Matriza. Dealt with again by Doyle. As far as Morales. Afori. Sweat trying to get in behind Wynn. Squared back across. The door closed by Kimura. And out for a corner kick.
Well, I think we're starting to see a little bit of rhythm and chemistry getting developed on the field with New York right now.
Will be the new signing, Alex Matriza, the Romanian, to take the Coca-Cola corner kick. Center backs of Collins and Chanot have moved forward. It's a knuckling ball. Is that off the hand of Belmar? The answer is yes. It is a penalty kick for New York, a handball by Carlton Belmar. And NYCFC a chance to go ahead from the penalty spot. No hesitation from Armando Villarreal as Maxie Morales standing over the penalty.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's inadvertent. It took an unlucky bounce, but it hit Belmar. That's the right call.
It's Maxie Morales versus Matt Pickens. Morales takes and scores. NYCFC takes the lead at First Tennessee Park. It had one very good chance with Jonathan Lewis a few minutes ago, and then the easiest so far of this first half. Perfect penalty for Morales.
Oh, it's well struck. He had his hips pointing towards the right, comes back across his body, drives it low to the left-hand side. Pickens did a good job trying to guess what side, but Morales is just a seasoned vet, and he did a fantastic job of putting that away, and he should. You know, it's expected to finish that type of opportunity. Yeah, the question is now, how does Nashville answer?
We're going right back to work. Taylor Washington's intended service deflected out. Now it does bring up last season for Nashville. They never won a game in which they went down by a goal first, so getting scored on first. They tied a few games, but they were never able to turn a would-be defeat into a win. That's the goal going to Maxie Morales. 9 goals, 9 assists last year for Morales. He's their key playmaker, Dome Tarrant. The New York coach saying they still need to sign a striker, have an out-and-out striker.
I'm a really big fan of Morales so far in this game, and I don't even think we've seen the best of him. But if you watch him, he goes into these different pockets, and he's hiding in between in the gaps and in between Bolu and Reed. And if you allow someone with the skill level and the quickness of Morales, you can see him right there. He's just popping into pockets, and he is going to break down that back line. And then you're going to have too many weapons running at you if you're Nashville to have to deal with. So they're going to have to make sure that they keep up with Morales in that midfield. It's a big challenge for Bolu.
Tarrant looking for his first preseason win as the NYCFC coach. Took over for Patrick Vieira in the middle of the season last year after Vieira bolted to take the head job at Nice, the top division of France. Some robust challenges flying into midfield. It was Alexander Ring this time. Captain's challenge. Player who retired from international duty during the offseason after over 40 appearances for his native Finland.
At the young age of 27, mind you.
It's a lot of plane flights.
It's a lot. At 27, though, to go into retirement and have that type of past experience with 40 international games, that's just fantastic.
Here's Wynn.
That's a great little quick footwork from Kimura.
Reed able to pivot. Belmar reached the ball before the in-line. Paris Lawson is down on the sideline. Paris, what do you have for us?
The majority of this game. But he did say that it just looks very mundane out there, and he was really encouraging Matt LaGrassa to really try to get a spark going for his team, guys.
Paris certainly see the frustration of Gary Smith. That challenge from Lancaster, perhaps retribution for the earlier involvement with Maxime Chanot. There's the foul from Lancaster.
Oh, yes, that was personal. Absolutely no doubt about that. That screams payback.
Nashville continues its high pressure. Pushes the ball lofted into the night. Greeted by Taylor Washington. Triangular passing to open up space. They go all the way back to the much-used Sean Johnson. Morales sending Ben Sweat on his way. Lost his footing on the wet surface. And it's Alan Wynn slaloming through, pulled by Matriza. Players getting in the ear of Armando Villarreal. Threatening the yellow card. It's always tricky to officiate a friendly.
Well, of course, and you know, especially when Matriza comes over, pats you on the shoulder. I hear you. I know what you're saying.
I mean, no official ever wants to throw a player out, but you especially don't want to do it in a preseason friendly.
No.
And the teams honestly don't want to play 11 versus 10.
Of course not.
They signed up because they want to play 11v11 and prepare themselves for what they'll see the majority of the season. Rarely are you ever up a man.
It's a challenge because, you know, referees have to make sure that they manage the game and they keep it competitive, but yet they don't want to influence it because, as you said, it is a preseason match.
Armando Villarreal actually started refereeing as a high schooler. Started refereeing kindergartners as a high schooler. 12 years later, was yellow carding Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
sometimes I would venture to say that refereeing a game in kindergarten versus the MLS might be trickier.
That's a good point. Offside flag is up on the visitors.
Local referee right there. Local talent. There she is. She's one of the best female referees in the country. She does game after game after game in the women's college games. She does the women's professional games. She does the U.S. soccer games.
NYCFC ahead. The penalty strike from Maxie Morales is the difference. First ever meeting between Nashville and New York in professional soccer. It is NYCFC's final preseason friendly. Nashville still with a few left in their pocket. On a day that has rained inches here in Nashville. Still holding up as the visitors exploring the limits of the boundaries. Sideline to sideline they go. Thunderous challenge came from Bolo Akinyoti, and the yellow card is out and distributed to Akinyoti. First yellow of the game from Armando Villarreal. He's just trying to get control of this game. He's seeing a couple personal battles develop.
It probably was time for a statement. Came in a little bit late and from behind. It was a harsh tackle. He's probably the byproduct of watching the physicality that is starting to develop on the field.
Pace picking up as well. There's still several off-season signings that we've yet to see here in Music City tonight. Big one being Daniel Rios, who we are told we'll probably see in the second half. There's new signing Vinny Vermeer, Dutch player who was announced today as the latest signing. And to the left there, the long hair is Connor Sparrow, player who's expected to challenge for the starting goalkeeper spot with Matt Pickens.
Yeah, Coach Smith has been very pleased with both goalkeepers. He knew what to expect from Matt Pickens, and then Connor Sparrow came in, and he said he's been exceptional in the preseason too. I think that's a good problem to have if you're Coach Smith.
LaGrassa spraying wide for Washington. He's got a pasture in front of him and explores it. Belmar spills down. A challenge from Tinnerholm. Nashville wants to get on with it. Tribbett requesting targets. Send it towards a flat-footed Allen Wynn. Not a whole lot of opportunities so far for the boys in gold.
No, they haven't quite caught a rhythm together. The front three, you haven't seen any type of combination play. There's been no linking up LaGrassa and Lancaster.
Akinyoti trying to extract this off the foot. NYCFC player results in a goal kick. Akinyoti has to be a little careful sitting on that yellow card, but you got to do a whole lot to get thrown out of a preseason game with a second yellow, especially in the first half. Although NYCFC 2 games ago, Jonathan Lewis actually got tossed for diving, a second yellow in a preseason game.
I was just about to bring that up. I was like, well, unless you're Jonathan Lewis and you get caught diving on your second offense.
Here is Jonathan Lewis. Wants to audition Kimura. Takes it left, and Kimura forces the corner kick. Hey, soccer fans, get your official Nashville SC gear, including MLS styles at NashvilleSC.com. There's the ageless Kosuke Kimura. Rumor is he's destroyed just about every fitness test the team has for the players at his young age of 34. Done well against Lewis so far in this first half. It's got one time where Lewis is able to get in behind. Matritza's corner kick. Sent back out towards Tinnerholm. Return pass comes for Tinnerholm. It's a heavy touch from Akinyoti. Hunted down by Collins. Floated back for the pivoting Ofori. Now Sweats. Matritza. One-on-one against Wynn. Stays with Matritza. He'll go for a goal, my goodness! An absolute rocket from the Romanian. And it is his American debut. He strikes to give NYCFC the 2-0 lead. As good as advertised.
Oh, worth every penny. Look how quick he is. Look at this strike. Bends it far post, well struck, with speed. Look at it. You can see it right here in the replay. He knocks it off of the defense player and just strikes it to the far post with enough velocity on it that it was very difficult for Pickens to even get there and read it in time. That was a class finish.
Well, this is his second game for NYCFC. His first actually came in the preseason tour in Abu Dhabi. He had a couple visa problems trying to get over here, so he couldn't play in the U.S. friendlies. We'll tell you about it more in a second. But Nashville is building an attack. Sent towards the penalty area. Knocked away as far as Kosuke Kimura. Ofori taking it farther back towards Collins. And the last man is the goalkeeper, Sean Johnson. Back to Matritza. He scored in his debut in Abu Dhabi. That didn't play in the next two preseason friendlies in Orlando. When I say American debut, this is his not only his first game in America, he's only been in the United States for a few days. He had never visited the country before he actually signed for NYCFC.
They picked a good town to live in, didn't he?
Well, they picked him. And they certainly paid for him, too. Rumored to be somewhere around $8 to $9 million transfer fee. One of the top 10 most expensive signings in MLS history. Belmar's won it back. Lancaster able to turn. So a team picture of the New York defense. And Matritza wants to hustle the other way.
I love the combination of Matritza and Morales for New York. So crafty, so sneaky in tight little spaces, very tight technically. You know, if you're watching New York right now, they put a value on keeping the ball. They value having the ball at their feet. There's a premium on possession. The movement's good, the in and out of pockets and the checking. They're very confident technically.
A few minutes left in the first half. Goals from Maxie Morales, the penalty spot, and Alex Matritza. A gorgeous second goal. Now New York in front. Players who think, a lot of players, a lot of fans, a lot of coaches who think Matritza is going to be a star, a la Sebastian Giovinco, very similar type players. Player who's recently departed MLS, leaving Toronto. Had a wonderful stint in Canada for Toronto, trophy-winning stint. NYCFC fans hoping Matritza will deliver the same. Down 2-0 in February in the cold and a driving rainstorm, and you can still hear the Nashville supporters. The boys in gold have won the ball back. It's Alan Wynn hopping over a challenge preparing the service. It comes in low. Steered away by the captain Ring. Wynn going inline, trying to earn the corner kick off of Ben Sweat, the national team defender. Spurns the advances. NYCFC the other way. Attack destroyed by Ken Tribbett. Down by Morales. Washington. Lancaster on his horse. Johnson watches it out.
I think Nashville needs to march this game into the half, regroup, see if they can find a way to better connect with their front three. Lancaster, Belmar, Wynn, LaGrassa sitting right under them, haven't had much of the ball. They're working, but there's been not much production in that final third.
No stoppage time here in the first half. NYCFC will take a 2-0 lead into the dressing room. It strikes from Maxie Morales and Alex Matriza. Send Gary Smith and his squad drenched it into the locker room, trailing 2-0. Their first game in Nashville this season, the preseason friendly Nashville SC and New York City FC. Here's the first goal from Maxie Morales that sent NYCFC in front. It followed with a wonder strike from Alex Matriza. And the visitors from New York lead 2-0 at halftime. Our halftime presented by Nissan is next.
Music City.
Welcome back to First Tennessee Park and the Nissan halftime. I'm Paris Lawson. Now, 2,000 people showed out at Marathon Music Works here in Nashville on Wednesday to witness the unveiling of the new crest and logo as the Nashville SC brand moves to MLS. Here's a look at the video that unveiled the new crest and colors to Music City.
Nashville has always been defined by its sound, a distinct beat, and a recognizable rhythm. But the sound that Music City makes no longer comes from just one place. It comes from all over, from urban neighborhoods and downtown districts to far-reaching farms and rural communities.
Squares it across. They've done it!
It's the measure of a city already known for its melodies, building from more than 2 million Nashvillians. It's on the march to a more sonic singularity, an anthem that reflects a city and a sport whose message is unity. Because when a city sings as one, chants in harmony, and bands together, the music it makes is so much more inspired.
As you can see, there's a lot of excitement and anticipation buzzing around the move to MLS. Don't go anywhere. We'll have much more when we come back after the break.
Back at First Tennessee Park, where New York City FC leads 2-0 over Nashville SC in a preseason friendly. It's our halftime presented by Nissan. I'm John Freeman, joined by Ronnie Woodard. Our Paris Lawson was down on the sideline. She mentioned the MLS brand unveiling in the previous segment. It was a fabulous rollout party at Marathon Music Works on Wednesday. Here are some of the scenes from a major night in Nashville's march to MLS. A lot of good people in that video and a lot of people that we've come to know during our time with Nashville SC and doing the broadcast. And now, Ronnie, we take a peek at what's to come on the USL side. Obviously, a full USL season to play. before Major League Soccer. Here is the first set of games for Nashville SC in USL action. You can see it right off the bat, 2 home games for Nashville to start.
Well, and starting the season with 6 points, especially at home, is imperative for Nashville. That just sets the tone for the season. I think the team's good enough. I think Coach Smith feels good enough about where their development is and how they're progressing. And I think he would expect nothing less but 6 quality points at home.
Yeah, a couple new teams in the USL Eastern Conference as well. You can see Memphis has started a USL team, and Nashville will face them in April. And then also Birmingham further down the line. The way USL schedule works this year, each team will play both or all the other teams in the conference twice. Once at home and once away. As simple as that. So Loudoun United FC, the home opener for Nashville at First Tennessee Park, followed by St. Louis and then a road trip. 2-0. New York City FC has the lead over Nashville SC at halftime. It's our halftime presented by Nissan. We'll kick off the second half when we return from FTV.
Hello, soccer fans. I'm meteorologist Justin Chambers. Yeah, ready for some football and, of course, back in the mid-state as you drive home and leave the game. We're talking about temps in the mid-40s. Look, we're still going to see some showers and storms on the way with heavy rain possible, and then more of that storm activity is going to be picking up, especially as we head into your Saturday. So just be aware of that. Also, that wind could pick up as well. So make sure you drive safe, and we will see you next week. Of course, Nashville Soccer Club, take care.
Sounds like February in Nashville. It always rains when Nashville has a preseason friendly as we welcome you back to First Tennessee Park, where Nashville trails in New York City FC 2-0 at halftime. It's our halftime presented by Nissan. Welcome you up to our broadcast position. I'm John Freeman, joined by Ronnie Woodard, and let's look at the first half highlights. You're going to see a lot of highlights for the boys in light blue, the visitors from New York who got off to a hot start.
Well, especially as the half went on, they just started to create more and more opportunities. And they had some really good looks on frame. Here's early defending that was quality done by New York. Nice bent ball and a set piece.
That's a shot from Alex Ring. And then this was maybe Nashville's best chance of the first half. Colton Belmar just couldn't control the ball at the top of the 18. And well, then the goals came. First one, a penalty kick from Maxie Morales after a Belmar handball.
Yeah, and it's just well taken. Morales has him looking one direction, pulls it back to the left side of the goal. Not much Pickens could do about it.
Here is the goal of the night. One of the best goals we've seen at this stadium. It's Alex Matriza in his debut on U.S. soil. Curler right past the outstretched arms of Matt Pickens. Those stats kind of tell you everything, Ronnie. No shots on goal for Nashville. It was a pretty dominant first 45 for NYCFC.
Yeah, and they tell you everything and a little bit of nothing, too. So what we really saw was New York creating a rhythm as the game went on. They started to keep possession of the ball. They had tiny little tight angles. They created great passing opportunities within spaces. They spread Nashville out, and then they played balls into pockets and kept Nashville moving the whole time. And Nashville had a difficult time getting the ball. And if you don't have the ball and you're not productive when you have the ball, it's going to result in 0 shots and 0 goals.
Well, Gary Smith told us that his starters are going to play at least 45 minutes. Taking a peek at the players that have come back out onto the field, it appears that his starting 11 tonight, Ronnie, unchanged to start the second half in a preseason friendly. What do you think about the move by the coach?
Well, you know, I have a lot of respect for the coach. They know the tempo of the team. They know the temperature of the team. Obviously still looking to see a few more combinations, giving players opportunities to earn some more time, make a difference in the game. And, you know, I think it's a solid decision.
Still awaiting word on NYCFC if they're going to make any substitutions. So far, my first glance of their team as well, looking relatively unchanged. The rain still coming down. You may not be able to see it too much in your picture. Maybe if you glance up at the lights there at the top of your screen. It has not stopped all day. Inches of rain here in Nashville.
Did you mean all week or all day?
Pretty much all month.
Pretty sure that we've been underwater most of the week.
The time-honored tradition.
It's the rite of passage. Nashville makes us pay for it in the month of February so we can have a beautiful March.
That's, of course, why there's 2 home games scheduled right off the bat in March.
Hope to see you there.
Here we go. Banner that is stuck with the club since its infancy. Our town, our club. Now their second professional season. A very frustrated Gary Smith has left his starting 11 out on the field to start the next 45. We're told we'll probably see Daniel Rios rather shortly.
And I'm going to predict a change of formation for Nashville 15 minutes into the half. You know, we had a good conversation with Coach Smith. I still think they're tinkering with some derivatives and what formation's going to fit them back best. And so I wouldn't be surprised.
Allen Wynn. The work out of a tricky area. Pulls back for Michael Reed. Switches the point of attack. Belmar. Flopped high towards Wynn. A touch from Matriza. Morales. These are NYCFC's 2 playmakers. They're starting to express themselves. Matriza down on the floor. No whistle from Armando Villarreal. Space to move forward. The feet of Medina. Trying to spring tenor home. Doyle's challenge is an important one. He gets it correct. Daniel Rios has been brought in, so Gary Smith did make one change. He will replace Bolu Akinyoti.
So what they did is they moved LaGrassa a little bit deeper, which is probably better suited for how he plays. He plays like a true 8, where he's a box-to-box player. His work rate's just exceptional. And that allows Nashville to bring in Daniel Rios, who's a little bit creative, pretty tricky in that final third. And maybe we'll start to see a little bit of chemistry between Lancaster and Rios.
Rios turns 24 years old today.
Happy birthday.
Was playing last year at North Carolina FC.
You know, it would be great if he scored a goal on his birthday.
He scored 20 last year for NCFC.
Well, except in the gold would be a nice birthday present.
He's expected to have a similar haul this year, especially when paired with some of the cogs that Nashville has brought in, including Carlton Belmar and Cameron Lancaster. A lot of speed on this field as well, Ronnie, with Belmar and Wynn on the wings. And some clinical finishers up top with Lancaster and Rios. It's over the foot of Ring. To the feet of the charging Carlton Belmar. Dances past Ring. Centers it back across. Returns to Belmar. Curled in. Back post. Allen Wynn. Sends it backwards. Chance here. Turned aside by Michael Reed. Probably Nashville's best look of the game. And the captain steered it harmlessly wide.
There's some really nice composure on Belmar's second ball that he played in. And Wynn, very unselfish, plays a ball back. Michael Reed just doesn't catch the whole bit of the ball. Takes a little bit of an unfortunate bounce and he puts it wide. So what I think you're going to see now from Nashville is you're going to see Wynn and Belmar getting the ball a little bit deeper in the midfield, more like a traditional 4-4-2, and they've moved Rios. They brought Rios in, took Bolu off, and have a go to a two-man middle in the midfield with Lancaster up top with Rios. And I think you're going to see some really good ball movement from Belmar and Wynn wide on the flank.
Handball called on Nashville. And the tireless Matt LaGrassa had an interesting offseason. Spent some of it traveling through Vietnam. Said he was working out every day, though. Went as a tourist. Or Paris Lawson is down on the sideline. I talked to Gary Smith. What'd you hear, Paris?
Well, I actually caught up with Stacey Daniels, the athletic trainer for NSC, and talked to him about some of the stats that stood out for these players. And the one that stood out the most was the fastest player on the field. And it's actually Taylor Washington, who topped out at 22 miles per hour in that first half, guys.
It's an astounding statistic. To give it some sort of relevance to our watching audience, that 22 miles per hour, which they measured using GPS equipment, that is faster than any player was measured in the first round of the World Cup over the summer.
Quick little bugger.
That's fast.
Well, and you know, just if you take a good look at Nashville, you can see them wearing vests under their uniforms. And in certain players, you can see it a little bit more distinctively than you can in others. But that's got a GPS tracking system in it. And that's what Stacey Daniels manages and watches throughout the game. And that produces those statistics, among hundreds of others.
Here's Nashville looking much brighter as they spring the attack. Wins ball in, heading back post. Skips too far for Belmar. Just played it on the surface. And an NYCFC player down behind the play. And Dome Tarrant, not the sight he wants to see of his players injured a week before the start of the season. Here's a look at it. It's Alex Ring who was involved and got stepped on. This is a scary injury for the visitors. Their captain going down. Ring was named captain in January. Take a look at the injured player on the field. A reminder that medical assistance for Nashville SC provided by Vanderbilt Health.
You know, one of the things that I like the most about Kimura is not only is he a fierce competitor, but he's a great sportsman. And he's over there making sure Ring's okay. He's checking on him. He's letting him know, hey man, this is all in the fight of the battle. I hope you're okay, and I hope there's no injury that results as that. And I just think it's a sign of a quality person and a really good player. And he's a great example for Nashville Soccer Club and those boys in gold.
He's one of the most popular players on the team, one of the biggest personalities, certainly.
Well, he must if he's going to rock a yellow headband. You got to bring it.
He's 34 years old. Extraordinarily fit still. A run the players through some endurance tests, and he almost always just quits before the test even in because he gets bored with them.
Oh, I bet you were that fit in your younger days, weren't you?
No, not even close. Awkward clearance from Collins, the center back. Alan Wynn trying to bother Ben Sweat. Sweat does nicely find an outlet in Matrica. Visitors again showing their willingness to go inline to inline.
You know, New York puts a premium on passing, and so when Nashville gets a hold of the ball, they really need to take better care of it.
Belmar with Ring in pursuit. Lung-busting run from Taylor Washington. It's Belmar who slaloms through. He's earned the corner kick for Nashville off the foot of Maxime Chanot. A rare set piece opportunity for Nashville, and it will come right in front of their supporters.
It's definitely the goal Nashville prefers to score on, one. And two, Nashville's got some really great targets that are in there. You've got Liam Doyle and you've got Tribbett. They're both really imposing figures out. And not to mention the fact that Michael Reed can put the ball wherever he wants and pick his target out.
The first Coca-Cola corner kick of the night for Nashville. Driven low by Reed. Couldn't clear the first man, Medina. Touches for Ken Tribbett. Results in Nashville claiming control. Reed. Kimura. Sweat there to intercept. Medina with room to turn. LaGrassa in pursuit. And Wynn sliced down. The yellow card immediately out of the pocket of Armando Villarreal. Nashville players taking exception as Ring goes into the book. Matt LaGrassa wants words with Ring, City's captain.
Accuse Matt LaGrassa of not bringing fire to the game. He is a fiery personality, very loyal to his teammates. I mean, it's a late and it's a high tackle. And you know, I will point out that Ring has been in many of the altercations today on the field.
He's your captain in the middle of the pitch.
Absolutely, he's involved in quite a few.
Ring seems to be up and healthy, coming down a couple minutes ago. It was a scary sight going into the final week before NYCFC's MLS opener. Nashville still 2 weeks out from USL play. Rios nodding for a win. Belmar. Ball in was cut out by Sweat. Matrica shrugging off Reed. Oh wow. Matrica's tell
so
quite talented and worth every penny so far for New York, but Nashville pushing forward with Kimura. Has sprung Belmar, low and driven cross. Stretch defense of Collins. Nashville reloads at the feet of Alan Wynn. substitution. It's Jonathan Lewis who will come out for NYCFC. And in his place, it is Valentin Castellanos, 20-year-old Argentinian. So Lewis, the speedy winger, will exit. Here is Castellanos, officially bought over the offseason after playing on loan last year. Scored a goal in his NYCFC debut. Now in his first preseason with the team. Gonna have a hard time holding off some of the really talented young players, himself included. When I mentioned talented young players for New York City, but gonna have a hard time holding off the Jonathan Lewises of the world, especially as Lewis gets national team experience. And there is the veteran, Maxie Morales, the conductor of the orchestra.
You know, he's the quintessential number 10. He's touching the ball often. He's checking in and out of spaces. He's sitting there, balancing, trying to find a way that he can get that ball and play that final pass into that final third.
Here's Alan Wynn. Return pass his defender. Slaloming his way into the 18. It's Washington. Delicate delivery, heading back post towards Belmar. Slammed away by Afori.
It's a lovely touch by Liam Doyle. And a nice ball.
Wynn trying to touch it around Castellanos. It's a heavy touch from Castellanos. Nearly kept in by Washington. He attacked his alls with the throw-in. Nashville putting on pressure here in this second half after a groggy first 45. Tireless effort from Kosuke Kimura, defying his 34-year-old legs. Nashville SC's next home game, it's going to be on Saturday, March 9th at First Tennessee Park against Loudoun United. Single game tickets available online at NashvilleSC.com. Now a massive amount of substitutions for Nashville.
Okay.
Well, Justin Davis, I'll read him right to left. To pop him into the farthest to the right.
Let's do this.
In the glove, Justin Davis. Connor Sparrow, the goalkeeper, set to check in. Darnell King, new signing for Nashville. Defender will come in, slapping hands with Kosuke Kimura. The tallest players, Tucker Hume. Now touching Matt Pickens is Bradley Bourgeois. The bright yellow shoes there. And farthest to his left, the new signing, it's Vinny Vermeer, young Dutch player who officially signed his contract and was announced today.
Very nice, Mr. Freeman. Excellent job catching all of them as quickly as you just did.
That is the end of the night for Matt Pickens. It's our first Nashville look at Connor Sparrow, goalkeeper. Players exiting Taylor Washington's night is done, along with Cameron Lancaster. Kosuke Kimura, his night also concluded. It was an entire fresh 11 for Nashville. Daniel Rios did stay out. I believe I see the number 10 of Lebo Melodo as well, back from injury for Nashville. Certainly keeping our graphics team occupied. We sort out all the substitutions. Nothing like a preseason friendly, partner.
I think it might have been a little easier to just say who stayed on the field.
Nashville's giving it away. Medina closed down by one of the original starters of Liam Doyle. Found by another original starter in Matt LaGrassa. Be a free kick for NYCFC. So Lebo Melodo back for Nashville. Missed the last 5 games of last year with a knee injury. Tucker Hume, big time striker, who really came on at the end of last season. Has had a fabulous preseason as well. Already 2 goals in this preseason and an assist in the Birmingham game.
That's the free kick coming in, and a save by Sparrow, turning it away from Matrica.
Well, you knew it was going to be special because Matrica was standing over the ball. And if anyone is watching any highlights of him, he can bend a ball around a wall in a set piece like no other. So Cano Sparrow was going to be immediately, look at that, right through the wall in between. Rios moved to his left, and he picked the pocket right in between there. And Sparrow had to come up with a big save. And it's very difficult to step into a game and make a save right off the bat.
Does lead to a NYCFC corner kick. Lofted in towards Tinnerholm, lining up the left-footed volley. And this one much easier for Connor Sparrow.
He passed the first test, though. Enter game, make a save.
Sparrow, 24-year-old from St. Louis. Played his college ball at Creighton, was a Blue Jay. He's been in this kind of in-between stage in his career where he's right on the verge of MLS, as he was with Real Salt Lake. And certainly a highly thought-of player in the USL, but hasn't seen a lot of USL action because he was always the second goalkeeper for the MLS side. Therefore, didn't get a lot of MLS playing experience. Certainly traveled with the team, practiced with the team, but hard cracking the lineup when you're the second goalkeeper. And one of the results of that as well is he really didn't get much USL experience either. So kind of stuck in between, but now fully with Nashville SC and potentially challenging Matt Pickens for the starting position.
There's no harder position to play on a USL team than a backup goalkeeper. And it's really difficult to be the number 2. And there are a lot of really quality goalkeepers in the MLS and the USL that are sitting behind other players.
It's Coca-Cola corner kick for Nashville SC. Newest player on the roster, Vinny Vermeer, to deliver it. It's hooked in. That's a good service. Hume was lurking in the area. Bounces out to Morales, and he strings Matrica. Chasing is Maloto. Matrica takes it wide. King in pursuit as well. And the lofted cross towards the back post draws the thumbs up from an exhausted Ben Sweat. Well, can't make the next match? Head to one of our 11 Middle Tennessee pump partner locations. Official pubs of Nashville SC are the perfect place to grab a pint, talk soccer, and watch every match of the 2019 season with fellow supporters. For a list of locations and more information, visit NashvilleSC.com. Our town, our club, and our pubs. Maloto, South African, picking out Justin Davis. Looking to see Daniel Rios. Quiet night for Nashville strikers. Moving into the light blue resistance of Chanot and Collins, two towering center backs.
Towering and mobile. Sometimes you'll have one and not the other, but that tandem in the center of the back for New York is just steady.
Sebastian Ibiaga set to check in shortly for the away outfit. It's a long shift for some of the star players for NYCFC, especially considering that they played a preseason match on Wednesday in Orlando, then traveled to Nashville, and their season opener in a week. In MLS, there's muscular figure of Ibiaga. Collins will come out. And how about this, Ronnie? For the first time in your broadcast career, someone from your alma mater, Sebastian Ibiaga, former Duke player.
Well, you know I have to be his biggest fan, but you know what's killing him right now? He has to wear powder blue. Absolutely the cardinal sin of Duke graduates.
Here's Ibiaga's first touch. Tinnerholm. Denied by Doyle. Calls Sparrow into action. The switch leaving much to be desired. '69th minute. Our halftime score. our current score. Goals from Maxie Morales, followed by a banger from Alex Matrica. Both in the first half. That is our difference tonight. Sean Johnson, confidently done. Now he's being pressed by Vermeer. And there's nowhere on this pitch that NYCFC is uncomfortable passing the ball to anybody on the field.
No, the amount of ease that Johnson just showed, 1 versus 1 inside of his 6-yard box, is definitely an example of a comfortable team.
This is very similar to the style that you see at Manchester City under Pep Guardiola. And Joe Hart was one of the best goalkeepers that England has ever had. And he got jettisoned from Man City because he wasn't very good with his feet. This is how they like to play, both at Man City, which is the parent club of NYCFC. That DNA is passed down to the New York version of the club, NYCFC.
I don't know that we've talked about it. Do you know Johnson stands at 6'4"? And for a goalkeeper to be as sure-footed as he is at 6'4" is truly remarkable.
I don't think you liked many of those back passes during your goalkeeping days.
I absolutely did not. Of course, I was more along the size of Morales.
See if Nashville could get something going here. Final 20 minutes. LaGrassa. Malota. Sent towards Ropapa Mensah. Get cut out by Sweat. Crashing in was King. Relentless pressure from King. With the foot of Malota. Powering forward, Tinnerholm.
I suspect with a 2-0 lead, getting close to less than 20 on the clock, we're going to see some New York substitutions pretty soon. They're comfortable on the ball. They've found a great rhythm. Nashville has to find a way right now to break the rhythm that's going right now in New York's favor.
It's a sophisticated build-up for the visitors. Castellanos. Afori. Constellation of passes going sideline to sideline.
And let's be truthful, it's not as if Nashville's not doing the work. They're doing the work. New York is just that good on the ball, and they value possession, and they value the movement off the ball and keeping the ball and going laterally and moving side to side and being patient. And it pays off in the quality of the rhythm of the game for them.
Vermeer is forced to turn over. Tucker Hume moving through. It's a heavy touch from Hume. The North Carolina grad as his venture forward turned aside by the Duke grad and Ibiaga. Medina touches around Malota. Percussive passing. It's backwards to Chanot. Farther back for Johnson. That's a dangerous pass, and it falls to Tucker Hume. Trying to get it off his foot. Vermeer! Nearly his first goal for Nashville in his first day with a professional contract with the club.
So this is well, we're not going to see it in the highlight. You see Tucker Hume reaping the benefits of the press. You had LaGrasse step and press high, and that caused the turnover, and Rios was playing with them, and then Tucker reaped the benefits. So if you have one player that's pressing higher into that attacking third, you have to have multiple players come with you, or it's too easy to break that pressure. And at that time, Nashville got it right. They pressed in with LaGrasse. Rios read the cue, came in with him. Tucker Hume read the cue, ended up with the ball at his feet.
Substitution during the commotion. Tony Rocha, 25-year-old, former college teammates with Bradley Bourgeois at Tulsa, is in. Will replace Ben Sweat. Had an excellent night at left back. Tucker Hume again the focal point. Vermeer wants to get on with it as Rios was brought to the floor. It's time to vote for today's Budweiser Man of the Match. Find the poll at the official Nashville SC Twitter account at Nashville SC. Hume, return pass to Ibiaga. He's drawn a swarm of blue jerseys. He's also drawn the whistle from Armando Villarreal. And the first involvement for Rocha is a painful one.
To his credit, didn't remain on the ground long, got up, walked it off. Still in a little bit of pain.
Again, NYCFC wants to build out of the back. They put together a string of passes to Castellanos. Medina preparing the service. Instead, it's a shot. Turned away by Davis. Won't win the pursuit to the sideline. Rings ball in. Too far for the applauding Castellanos. Another substitution coming for NYCFC. Actually a duo of them. Night is over for Alex Ring, the captain. Apologize, it looks like Ring will stay on. And Alex Matriza's night is over. Scored the goal of the night, the second one. Tremendously curled shot from the run of play. And in his place, it is Ismail Tajuri Shrady, 23-year-old Libyan, born in Switzerland. Does have Libyan heritage and 2 appearances for the Libyan national team. Matriza, the Romanian international, 2 goals in 2 games here this preseason for NYCFC. Afori moving his way through. It's a crucial challenge from Justin Davis. Could have nearly been 3 for New York. Instead, a rescue tackle from Davis.
Great timing.
And watch Afori's reaction. I was just off our camera, but he slams the ground. He knew where that ball was heading.
Very well timed by Justin Davis.
NYCFC has also brought in a very exciting U.S. national team product. Youth national team product, that is. That's James Sands. 18-year-old, first ever NYCFC homegrown player. Made his professional debut as a 16-year-old. Took off one Andre Pirlo for his debut. actually made 3 appearances. This is Sands that we're talking about. Made 3 appearances for Lou City last year on loan. Had played for John Hackworth, the Lou City coach, as a member of the U.S. U17 national team, and played a few games later on that season, and was very impressive for Lou City before heading back to New York before the playoffs.
Game's definitely slowed in the rhythm and the tempo. The roadies and the supporters are doing their best to stay energized. They're still singing the praises. It's raining. Their team's down 2-0. Surface is getting a bit slick.
Tajori Shradi. Tinnerholm. Morales. Distracted by LaGrassa with Tajori Shradi bearing down. A heavy touch from Bourgeois. NYCFC pressing the issue. Afori trying to move on to his left foot.
Oh, I think if he had hit that on that right foot, could have been a screamer.
We've seen one of those tonight. And the body language from Gary Smith says it all. They've had a very impressive preseason, especially last weekend. If you revert back to their game against Birmingham, this is Nashville, a demolition of one of the USL's debut clubs this year in Birmingham. They are facing one of the top teams in the United States in NYCFC, a team that has gone to MLS semifinals in 3 of their 4 years of existence.
Well, this is a great challenge for Nashville today, and I don't think this is cause for alarm. The results are very minimal. You know, I mean, the importance of them, that is. It's really the production of what you've seen on the field, and that's really for Coach Smith to determine at this point. And, you know, how does he feel that his team produced today? And did he get out of it what he had hoped, minus the final score?
81st minute, LaGrassa in front of tonight's Ashton Real Estate attendance, 5,384 in February in a downpour. And you may see a lot of empty seats in the stadium, and you don't obviously see fans in them, but what our cameras don't show in the picture that you've been seeing is that there's overhangs to this baseball stadium, and that's where the fans have congregated underneath the overhang. So they're not sitting in the first 10 rows, they're sitting in the last 10 rows to try and stay dry.
And warm. Can you blame them?
Not at all. Nashville, the top leaders in attendance last year in the USL. There they are, close to the lounge. That's the top deck. And a heavy contingent of fans underneath that deck. Throw-in allows yet another substitution, unlimited substitutions, obviously, here in the preseason. And it's Joe Scally, another big-time prospect in the U.S. national team system. 16-year-old will replace Anton Tinnerholm. Scally features on the U.S. U17 national team. Is actually, believe it or not, the second youngest pro soccer player in U.S. history. Signed as a 15-year-old. The only younger player is Freddie Adu to sign a professional contract, who did it at a very young 15 with DC United. Cross coming in, back post, Tajori Shradi downloads, left-footed shot, couldn't get past Justin Davis. Scally. Now a Forey. Morales was offside. Another play that you saw come in for Nashville was Ginki Mayachi, a trialist from Japan. Looks like he'll play somewhere down the center of the pitch. A whole lot of information on Mayachi other than that he was recommended by Kosuke Kimura. His countryman certainly knew about him and recommended him to come on trial with Nashville. It's a curling ball from Mensah. Frustrated Bradley Bourgeois. So to explain trialist, Ronnie, to our audience, you don't see it in a lot of other sports. There is Mayachi. You can try out essentially for a team on an extended basis. You don't get a full-time one-year contract until you've either proven yourself or you part ways with the club and end your trial. Some trials go a few days, some trials go an entire preseason, and some of them work out well, as you see Vinny Vermeer, who was a former trialist here in this preseason, now has a USL contract for Nashville. Mayachi hopes to follow his footsteps.
I would venture to say if Kosuke Kimura put his word on it, that Coach Gary would feel confident giving him an opportunity.
It was Kimura who also recommended Bradley Bourgeois last year after playing with him in Tulsa. Bourgeois wasn't even on the radar of Nashville and then ended up being one of the key defenders for Nashville in its maiden USL campaign. 85th minute. Scoreless here in the second half. Afori looking to change that and sends it over the crossbar.
That smile on his face. He knows his prep touch let him down just a little bit. That smile. What a great little ball by Morales. Prep touch just didn't quite give him enough space to be able to get the texture on the ball that he was looking for to finish that.
Two first half goals are the difference. Maxie Morales and Alex Matricha are the goal scorers. Switch by Mayachi. He's certainly flexible. we know that about him.
Did you see me gasping in here when that happened?
Here's a Afori. Tajori Shradi has been active since being inserted. It's clipped in. Cleared out by Mayachi. Going through the gears is Ropapa Mensah. Mayachi running in support. It's a poor pass from Mensah, and it draws a stern look from Daniel Rios. Tajori Shradi again. Wants to audition Justin Davis. Sends it almost out of the park. Well, the votes are in. Tonight's Budweiser Man of the Match, voted on by our fans. It is number 27, Kosuke Kimura.
I like it. The most reliable. The anchor. The iron in the back, right?
And ageless.
Absolutely.
Continues to push the limits of physical fitness even at his age of 34. It's Mensah who's onside. Nashville flooding forward. Mensah off the dribble. Rolls it back across. Needed a stern clearance. And NYCFC got that from Maxime Chanot. Does result in a Coca-Cola corner kick right in front of those supporters. 88th minute. Nashville looking for its first at First Tennessee Park in 2019. Meloto curled in towards Tucker Hume! He was onside. The flag never came up. Couldn't steer it on target. And Nashville's best opportunity of the night whistled wide by Hume.
And it's a quality look. The quality of the ball. Lebo bends that ball right into Tucker's run. Tucker attacks it. Didn't quite get as much of the ball as he wanted to. But when you have Big Bird in, he's your target. And he's a very good target, as you have seen the last few times. He gets a piece of the ball. He disrupts that back line. And that was a quality service from Lebo. One of the things that I think has been missing today is the quality of the service, the final ball from Nashville. It's been met on the last line of defenders from New York. And not to take anything away from New York and the quality of their shape defensively, but Nashville hasn't challenged them with the type of ball that they've put in behind or served into the box.
Still a chance here for Nashville to get on the board. Tucker Hume scored all 7 of his goals last year after August. You hear of all these offseason signings, Rios and Lancaster. Let's not forget what a sizzling finish to the season Tucker Hume had. Rios rolls into the path of Ropapa-Mensah. Nashville with 2 big knocks on the door late in this game. Mensah could never get it to settle, Ronnie.
It's a nice little ball by Rios. A good run. And just not struck well on the final end product.
I thought it was bobbling, but it was firmly planted on the turf.
Well, and it's a difficult surface right now. As we've talked about the weather time and time again, it's unreliable. We've seen some miscues and some slipping as the game has progressed, and so it's not unexpected.
Mensah will try again. He's blown right past Rocha. Drawn the interest of 2 supporting defenders. And foul call. Put on Darnell King. Never shy. Stick his nose into a challenge. King last year in San Antonio. An astounding 12 yellow cards. 12.
Maybe we have someone feistier and saucier than LaGrassa this year.
2 minutes of stoppage time, so right now less than 2 minutes for Nashville to keep itself from being shut out. It's a very strong NYCFC team. Sweeping challenge from Davis. Mayachi. This is creatively done by Nashville, but the flag is up on Hume. He's arguing that he didn't address the ball enough. Actually be whistled for involvement. Loda was coming in support, but nevertheless, flag up. And that may have been Nashville's last chance here until the regular season. At least at First Tennessee Park. They do play Lipscomb, and also on the road, Nashville will have a preseason friendly in Evansville against Indy 11. A team that has also had a dynamite offseason with some major signings. Dane Kelly, USL's all-time leading scorer, one of those big signings. Here's King, scurrying his way forward. Early service. Strong touch from Vermeer. Just seconds remaining. Final thrust from Nashville. It's Doyle trying to pick out Tucker Hume. Headed by Chanot as far as Mensah. It's an early strike. Never bothering Sean Johnson. And that should do it here at First Tennessee Park. Just seconds left. Nashville had a few chances. NYCFC was clinical with theirs in the first half.
And Nashville showed some good heart late in the game. The flurry of activity and the attack and their commitment to go forward and take a few more risks, I think that was a really good sign for the future.
Well, the first battle between Nashville and New York, it heads to NYCFC. A 2-0 victory for the MLS side. There will be future battles. They will meet in Major League Soccer. But tonight, on this rainy night in Nashville, New York gets the victory, 2-0. Still much more to unpack from this one. We'll head to break. Be back with your stats and a save of the game from First Tennessee Park in the preseason home opener here in Nashville.